Yeah, this is an interesting story. Cadillac, I guess they're still a car company in business, is saying to their dealer network, if you want to remain a dealer for Cadillac, you have to build a charging station in your dealership, which is average cost around $200,000. And the reason
they're DC charger.
Yeah, and the story came to us via Green Car Reports. And their argument is their future is going to be significantly electric. So if you're a Cadillac dealer in Podunk, Idaho, get on the train and put in a charger because you're going to need it to sell our cars. And if you don't want to do it, you may lose your dealership. So I don't know of any real Cadillac EVs, but they say there's an Escalade EV coming. We've all heard of the Cadillac ELR, which was the two-door Chevy Volt, which I think they sold 27 of them, or 2,700.
There's still some brand new ones in the lot.
Yeah, it failed miserably. It was a nice car, but you know, it wasn't the right car for Cadillac buyers. It was a two-door plug-in hybrid with probably zero education in the dealer force to sell it.
And it was a Volt at double the price, aimed directly at the Model S.
Right. There were some unhappy owners.
Yeah.
But the
secondhand owners loved it.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's some happy secondhand holders.
But I think that's encouraging that a company like Cadillac that has stodgy old cars is saying, hey, like, the future is electric and you guys got to buck up to play in this market. So hopefully they will deliver electric cars in the next year or two. And they say they have a Lyric crossover EV coming out in 2022. And of course, the dealers want an electric Escalade because that's where they make all their profit is on the Escalade. And so anyway, it's encouraging to see car manufacturers forcing dealers to get into EVs rather than, well, you can sort of do it if you want to, but if you don't want to sell our car, don't worry about it. You can just sell pickup trucks instead.
Yeah. So the reason I assumed that those were level 2s is when I worked at a Chevy Cadillac dealership, we had a level 2 that came with our demo Volt, and we had a level 2 that came with our ELR, and we installed them. One of them stopped working immediately, and the other one been in service pretty much the whole time. And so I in my head, I processed it as being a continuation of that program. But a DC fast charge network would actually be a good move, considering that they are currently relying on third parties.
And a lot of Nissan stores have DC fast charging for their customers, which is smart.
And I understand from the dealers here in Guelph, Ontario, they put in a fast charger that was required by Chevy in order to sell the Volt and the Bolt. And also, the 200 grand also went towards some additional equipment, diagnostic equipment that was used as well. So not just a charger, but some tools and equipment used to diagnose problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So my experience when I had the Leaf charging at the various Nissan dealerships was not good. Sometimes they were around back and not accessible. Other times they were up front, but it was a car sales lot. So they had cars parked there and you had to go in and ask them to move these vehicles. And I stopped in Longview, Washington, and the dealership was closed and the charger was behind a locked gate. So I don't know. So those are some lessons that I hope if you're a car dealership and you want to install a charging station, do a better job than those guys did.
If you own a Cadillac dealership and you're watching this program, those are some tips.
Yes. Think about sponsoring the show and we will actually say nice things about you.
So the hard part for them is a lot of those lots are designed not to be drive-through and have block gates. And you would have to re-architect your parking lot in order to make that function.
Service department's accessible 24/7.
It depends.
Yeah.
Depends on when it was built. Yeah, and the neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. One thing that to consider is a dealership, much like a warehouse, is, they know the price of every square foot, of that asphalt. And if they have to reserve spaces, they're looking at the cost of having an empty spot or 5 or 6 empty spots right in front of the building or somewhere.
Especially those ones that have the multi-story parking structures.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That
yeah.
gets even more pricey.
And often the most expensive part of installing a charging station is the trenching, which means they want to put it near their power access, but that may or may not be the right place for other logistical reasons.
Yeah, because
So
unless you've got the
after the
equipment
fact.
right at the perimeter, you have to then put it off the building, which is where all your power is currently going.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that was one thing, and it's a minor tangent. When I was talking to our facilities people at work, when they installed the chargers, they put them right next to the front door, and I kind of argued with them, and I was like, "Look, we love the fact that you're putting in chargers, but please don't put them right in front of the door because then people hate us because we get to park right in front of the door."
or they
The
get
guy looked
iced.
at me. Yeah, or they get iced or whatever. And the guy looked at me, and he's a great guy. I've known him for years. And he said, "Do you want me to tell you how much copper costs per linear foot?" I'm like, "Okay, thank you." I walked away. That's it.
Well, the copper isn't too bad. It's the trenching and conduit and inspections and permits and yeah.
Mhm.
Labor.
Probably all rolled in the cost. But yeah, I mean, that was another thing to Patrick's point is, yeah, they they don't want to have to rip up asphalts and run it all the way to the other end of the.
So yeah, so maybe this will be a precedent for other car companies to start deploying, fast chargers at all the car dealers for all brands. So
Absolutely. And any step, even a bad step, is a step. That's, it's getting it. Maybe that's the thin edge of the wedge.
Mhm.
And I've had similar experiences at Nissan dealerships that Patrick's had too. And those chargers were almost always blocked or inaccessible
or broken.
yeah, I can't tell you. Both times I was driving a review Leaf, I went by multiple Nissan dealerships just to try and top up and charge and just, because why not? And never could do it.
In all of my travels, I've only found one didn't have a gate or any of the other problems of the Nissan stores with the system. So,
Yeah.
Do you guys think that maybe that's kind of a passive aggressive way of making sure strangers don't use it? Because it sounds to me like it's kind of a passive aggressive strategy.
Yeah.
Because although the industry may want to adopt it and it may be moving to a certain way, y'all know people are assholes.
Oh, yes. You tell me what to do. Do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the change. I don't want to deal with this. So I'm going to put it in the least accessible spot. I'm going to make sure that, or it's only people who have bought a car from us who should be able to come back and use it. Or I can't earn money off of it. So why the hell should I make it accessible? I'm just listening to everybody's complaints. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't
You
think
said every square footage counts, right? So they figured if they leave it there, it's empty, it's been empty for 2-3 months. Why not just park a car there? And if someone wants it, they'll just move it. To them, probably moving it is probably less inconvenient than leaving it empty.
They think that, but then in practice is the hard part.
Does anyone know what Hanlon's razor is?
Is the opposite
Is he related to Occam?
It's Hanlon's razor says never attribute to malice that which is equally explained by stupidity.
I didn't know the name, but yes.
Okay.
Sometimes though, multitask.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think, and I'm not making excuses or anything here. Car dealers are malicious and stupid often. But, again, if they have a charger on their premises and they didn't have one before, that's a good thing. That at least is a wedge that gives you something to talk about. Maybe a Cadillac customer is going to go there someday and go, "Hey, can I charge?" And they'll be like,
"What?"
I'm sorry.
Or you could have another brand and you come in on E and then not E as an electrons, but E as an empty, and they do the car shuffle. The three of the guys up, you push your car over to the charger, you plug in, and by golly, that might be the next place you buy your car from.
There you go.
Yeah.